Okay, so it's Friday again. These weeks are flying right by us. I got a couple of quick updates. This will be a very brief update as promised. Not too much going on as far as what we can get into. I think next week we'll probably have a little more to talk to, but I'll jump right into it. So with H2O, a lot of inquiries on H2O. Where are we at with the contracts? We are still working through some of the challenges in those contracts. Some requirements and timelines were not, I felt, realistic or mutually beneficial. So we want to make sure that we have an expectation that is realistic and that is something that both sides could meet easily and be in the best interest of everyone, to be quite frank. So we're working through those. There's another thing that we are working on that we haven't discussed in the past. I think I might have touched on it previously, but we do build these trailers out, or H2O builds these trailers out to house equipment. We can put office spaces in them and for remote areas. Also, the part of the mobile system that everyone has seen, but also for their strategic partner, Precision Engineering. They are working through some of the design elements of some trailers that H2O will be building for Precision Engineering's equipment. They develop filters and filtration technology, and they've got their own equipment, which actually brings me into something else. They will be filing a patent very soon on a proprietary filtration system or filter that will be incorporated into the water treatment center or that mobile unit that everyone has seen for H2O. And that will be an exclusive element within that H2O product. Right now, it's being designed to work in tandem with that. They'll be filing a patent on it. I'll keep you up to date on when that's completed, but that's a pretty exciting thing. It's a completely new tech that is going to help streamline the process and hopefully lower costs. And this is something that we're working towards, bringing those costs down so that we can deliver these units with an increasing margin. And then, of course, another patent that H2O will be filing in partnership with Precision Engineering is that evaporator system that we've discussed previously. So that system, when you have high elements or high content or the TDS, the total dissolved solids in the water, exceeds what would be prudent to put through the EC portion of the filtration system, then we can evaporate that and take out some of those solids before pushing it through the treatment center. This allows us to treat water in excess of 30,000 parts per million and much higher. In many cases, I think one of them was 80,000 parts per million. Another one was 110,000 parts per million. So this system, this new technology they've put in place and they've developed will be very powerful in making those units, those mobile units specifically, much more dynamic. So we could treat, in plain English, that means we could treat a larger array of water and service more clients. For UATG, a couple questions I've gotten. I thought I'd get more on this, but we haven't, was the Q2. Are we still on track for Q2? I know they're going to be working on the weekend to make sure. There was a little bit of a delay in that we're working through a new process. Understand there's 6 companies that are reporting now, so you have 5 subsidiaries reporting to a holding company that's publicly traded, as many of you know, and there is a new format for that. So we've developed an internal process, an internal format, so that it can be funneled upward and that Tom can put together in a cogent and reporting disclosure that is more efficient and a little better, more easily understood. We'll put it that way. And we're going to be going over that after it's released. I'm going to do a video on walking through those documents so that people can understand that. And I think it'll be helpful for those who find those disclosures and financials to be typically very complicated. So I'm going to kind of take some of that, pull the curtain back a little bit, and hopefully people understand that. I did get a question this morning and then a follow-up question. I got a phone call, and then I guess someone sent, I don't know if it's the same person, but another question in reference to the cap structure and the outstanding shares seem to have decreased. Understand that we are auditing the company. That is reported through the transfer agent, so they are most likely making adjustments. And you're going to see that continue the further we move along in the auditing process. So that's almost like a moving target. Not huge swings. My expectation is that we will see what we have seen is that they will decrease, and then as accounting takes place for some of the preferred series and any of the conversions that weren't accounted for, they were looking at almost 2 years ago, then you'll see a little bit of an increase. So let me just put one thing to rest. I'm not increasing the authorized. I got a lot of people asking me to do that between increasing the authorized, doing splits and all this stuff. I can't emphasize enough. That's not something that's on the calendar right now. We've got a lot of other things we have got to work through. So anyone spreading that, you're really not helping your fellow shareholders and kind of revealing what your intentions may be on that. I'll leave it at that. So the Dreaming Company. The Dreaming Company has 2 new products coming out. That'll be it for this year. They're working on a whole other line of products for next year. There's a whole marketing plan that's being put in place for next year as well. Right now, they're working through the branding seminar that is being kind of spread across all of those products within Hygieia, the Hygieia skincare line. We'll be migrating a lot of HPC health solutions into the Hygieia line, but that's not going to change the final SKU count, as it were. So we're looking at this whole campaign that is running in tandem with marketing, the branding campaign. That whole campaign is going to be running its course throughout the rest of the year. And then we're going to take a look at it at the top of the year and make adjustments accordingly, okay? So UAT, got a couple questions. UAT, the main focus for UAT, I know we've talked about EV chargers and the wind farm, but right now I'm just focusing on the holiday inventory for sales. So a lot of the HP items that we've discussed previously, we're going to go ahead and get that put in place so that we don't miss the holidays, okay? As far as any of the other products in UAT, we're not going to focus on those until we get through the next couple of weeks of making sure that inventory numbers are accurate, and then the management process thereof is put in place. And then we'll move on to a few other things, and we'll discuss what those items are. As far as Boost, Ossifix, Nextcast, and Bacter, a lot of questions on Novi. I understand that. There's no real material updates. So we're not going to have a video where we're constantly discussing that the FDA has sent an email. They're still under review. Yes, we're following the 510K. We are working through that process currently. There's a few other things that are working in the background, but it's not enough of a material change to warrant taking up time on a video. As soon as we have more updates, we will. I know people are asking for press releases. Understand that press releases must serve a specific purpose. That does not include a trading schedule from someone who is trading the stock. We make announcements based on material changes and disclosure regulations and guidelines for the shareholders. So we're not going to just put out a press release. Got a lot of emails in the past week. Please put out a press release. If there's no news, we're not going to make it up. Okay, so I hope everyone understands that. Again, it's Friday again. I apologize for the hurried video here. I'm a little behind for the day. We've got a lot of calls I've got to return and a few other things I've got to prep for next week. So any questions that you may have that I have not addressed in this video or something that you're curious about, please send those in through the social media platforms. I like to make sure that when I do these videos, I'm addressing as many of the concerns as possible. Anything that may be sensitive in nature, you're probably get a direct response and saying that maybe we can't discuss that. So avoid, those questions that I think most people know they can't ask. Like, what are the numbers going to be ahead of a release or anything related to that? So let's just stay within those guidelines. I'll be more than happy to get back to you and put them in a video, because if you're thinking about them and you have a question about them, the chances are other shareholders have those questions as well. So again, Friday again. I hope you have a great weekend. We're going to be working through the weekend to make sure we get everything put together for next week. And I will, it looks like we're going to be speaking again next Friday, maybe a little sooner. I don't know. It just depends on how we do this weekend. And then that'll set the tone for the top of the week and what I can get cleared Monday through Tuesday. We've got a couple things I'd like to get cleared. They might have to push those to Wednesday, so that'll dictate whether there's a update video or whether we talk sooner. Okay. So again, have a great weekend, and I appreciate everyone's support. I look forward to talking to you next week. Thank you.